Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined by Model 3 owner Randy and Cybertruck reservation holder extraordinaire Nick Ann Sweeney.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel like I have some skin in this game, even though I have...
And me.
And then there's Drew.
The popular
who has tried
YouTuber.
Tesla tequila now.
That is true. How
That
was
is
it?
my
Did
authority.
it taste good? If it didn't,
I
tell
will
me.
say I have never had tequila in my entire life.
So,
What?
And I'm not much of an alcoholic drinker, not for any religious reasons. I just don't like most alcoholic beverages. I've tried them and the taste is not very good in my opinion. But
Sure.
Tesla tequila was the first alcoholic drink that I was like,
because
not
it came
bad.
out of a Tesla lightning bolt. That's why.
that's
it's
decent.
You can buy that alcohol without the Tesla stuff on there if you find the actual branding of it, because
I was told it's a little tweaked from that one.
Really? Like a special.
I've been told
distiller of
it's
it.
a different mixture. It's probably very similar, but I've been told it's like a little bit different.
the fine print
But-
has it, or not the fine. Well, yeah, I guess the fine. I remember looking at it, and I went to the parent website of where they got it from, and it's like, oh, it's the same thing. It's this golden something, and I was like, oh.
They're not very vertically integrated with the tequila. Shame on you, Elon.
That's what the basement of the Giga Berlin factory is going to be. That's where they're going to have their
Mass
tequila
production.
distillery. So they'll put the
I'm
worms in
not
there and
a-
everything.
I'm not like a big drinker or anything like that, but I will socially drink in company and stuff like that. So I'm curious. What did you, as someone who doesn't really care for alcohol, you like the tequila? Because tequila is my least favorite of all the alcohols.
It was not something I like. Well, like any tequila, not something I would drink a lot of. But
But
the
in
little
the position that
bottom
you are
line.
at right now, would you do it again?
If I'm paying for it, no. If
No.
someone just came in the room with a glass and said, "Here you go," I would drink
Hey,
it. Yeah.
free booze is the best booze. I'm drinking coffee, by the way.
Look, if the Tesla vehicles are going to be driving themselves, that's going to open up a whole new market for alcoholic.
No, don't say that.
No.
Didn't you see that?
If there's no steering wheel,
To our 10 listeners, that is called a joke. Do not, under any circumstance, Mike, don't get behind your why.
No, not with the lightning bolt.
And
Not with the
unfortunately,
lightning
you do have to say these things out loud now because there's that one TikTok kid who is an idiot. And did you guys see that Tesla Roddy article?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
I
Idiot.
am confused. Actually, I'm
I
not
don't know what
confused.
you're
That-
saying. No.
Okay.
Basically, for those who don't know, there was a TikTok star who decided to turn on autopilot and then pretend to like sleep in the back seat with the seats down.
And like a pillow
And-
and everything.
Those videos are the exact reason the FSD beta has not been rolled out to everybody.
Exactly.
So whenever you're mad that you don't have the FSD beta yet, blame stuff like that. Because
Dumb
that's
people.
precisely why they're being slow with the rollout.
Does
is
Mike
because
have
they know.
it yet?
No. I haven't actually seen many new people get it. I've only seen the
feel
people
your
who
pain,
had it
man. I feel your
in
pain.
December.
I got a software update yesterday. I ran to my car. I was like, this is it.
Oh, sad Randy.
Yeah, now having seen the Model Y with the updated UI, I'm gonna go against the grain here and say I don't mind it. I think it's fine.
Oh, I love it.
I wouldn't mind the adjustable visualizations with maps thing. If you could change it, that's great too. But in its current state, I don't think it's that big a problem.
Well, you're not a big problem, Drew. So doesn't
That's
matter.
because you don't have to live in it. That's why.
Hopefully, you're
Most
not living
people
in your
probably don't
Tesla.
live in it.
If you're living in your Tesla, something has gone wrong.
Well, you know what I mean. Like,
I think
what I
there's-
meant to say is live in it. I'm doubling down.
Okay.
I'm doubling
I
down.
was if I was driving, I would do what the dirty Tesla FSD beta does and make the visualizations take up like 2/3 of the screen because I don't look at that part of the maps very much. I pretty much only look at the when is the next turn, and for all other driving, I know where I am anyway, so I don't really need the turn by turn thing. I don't mind if that's just a little narrow column for maps, and then everything else is just what
I'm
can
gonna
the
be
car
honest.
see?
I want to be very honest about something.
No.
Sometimes, and by
Lie.
sometimes I mean most of the time, if I have to punch in the address, I find it way more convenient just to put it on Apple Maps and let my watch tell me since I'm right there. And I go,
Oh,
because I don't like
You sneaky dog, you.
I know. I don't actually like looking over and looking at something. And this is in the context of I'm not on a freeway that I can't go boom boom and let it do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get to this new office building I need to go to for a medical appointment, and I'm getting turn by turn. It's so much more intuitive just to turn. Then
I do like that.
I use Apple Watch Maps to tell me
Apple Watch Maps.
Apple Watch Maps. Yeah, it's
Mine
so
was
much
being buggy on my last drive, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's
so
nice.
road on getting on the road. Okay, like when next time I take a trip up to NorCal and I go see somebody, I will use hopefully full self driving, man. Hopefully, but if it's turn by turn, I prefer the little tap that tells me it's coming up, and I'm like, oh, okay, yep, right there. And because the way I drive anyway, most of the time I'm like, my eyes are already on my watch that I can just whoop, okay, and I'm turning and I'm 10 and 2 anyway. So
I like it because it taps you when you're supposed to pay attention.
I love it. That's my favorite feature.
If it doesn't matter, you don't need to look, and then it taps, and you're like, okay.
Tesla
tactic
giving you
thing.
the turn by turn. It doesn't chime when it's the next part, so it just either I miss and then it reroutes, and I'm like, oh, that's oops. Oh, I'm supposed to turn back there. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that now
I wish they
add 2
could
minutes.
ditch the continue thing. I'm so sick of it when it's like in
It
40
throws you
miles,
off.
go straight.
Yeah.
It throws you off.
Keep going. Like, don't tell me that I need to keep going. I'll just skip that step. Go to the next
That
turn.
has messed up Brittany so many times where she goes, oh, wait. That's what that meant.
Continue.
Yeah.
Continue. When it gives you the countdown and the watch starts
Yeah.
tapping, because I'm like, here I go. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to go straight.
I made it.
I made it straight.
Yes.
And there was no turn. Like, there was
Straight.
nowhere else to go
I got
anyway.
it, Randy. I laughed hard. Don't worry.
Straight forever.
Nothing but rainbows from here on
Keep
out.
going straight. Keep going. Continue in 40 miles. So, you're going to drive straight for 40 miles. Then once you hit that, keep going. That's basically what like the person in the if your navigation was the passenger, that's what they would be telling you. So in 10 miles you're going to go straight
That's
and then keep going.
That's Tesla's version of being a backseat driver.
It's true.
Yep. Yep. Just keep going. That's it.
So
Will you shut up, man?
a feature that I didn't know existed, and I'm sure other people online know about this, but I was just not aware of it
Okay.
until I was sitting in Randy's Model 3 a couple days ago, and we were sitting at a stoplight, and we were just sitting there, and the light turns green, and Randy's looking at his phone, as one does, right? Adjusting the music
As one
or
does.
whatever, changing the map, and I just heard this little boom. And Randy looked up, the light was green, and we went.
Yes.
And it was like, that is such a smart feature. Whenever the light turns green, the car already knows that the light is green. So the car just makes a little chime.
letting you
like
know.
a second after the light turns
I
green.
noticed that too.
It's perfect.
I noticed that too.
I turned it
That's
on because
amazing.
I don't want to be that guy.
Exactly.
in the
And then you're
unique
never that
Tesla
guy.
who gets
It's perfect.
honked at, and I may or may not have been that guy.
Most of
a couple
us
times.
just look at the light to avoid being
Why would
that
you look
guy.
at the light when you can look at the screen where it's either red or green?
I would, but you see, I'm still in my honeymoon phase. Like, wow, that's such a small phone. Boom, gotta go.
Okay, look, if y'all gonna hate me for the alcoholic joke, then I'm gonna hate you all for the using your phone
This is true.
at the
Wait.
wheel joke.
Wait, what's the alcoholic?
That's
joke?
not safe either,
Nothing is safe.
Oh,
because
okay.
I was saying
Listening to this
Tesla tequila.
podcast.
The vehicle is moving at 0 miles per hour. It's pretty safe.
you're still in traffic. You're not in park. You shouldn't be in
what?
park.
I should be in park. You don't know what I do when I come to a stop.
He just puts it
You
in
don't know
park
You should
me.
be paying
every
attention.
time.
Yeah. You
Eyes.
don't know me. What? No.
I forgot
no.
that stage of the DMV when you're taking the test. When you come to a stoplight, check your phone for messages. Once the light turns green,
You
can
peasant.
stop using your
I
phone.
have a different set of rules with my own eyes on the car. It looks for me. I
Allow
can't be
me.
bothered with such simp-like tendencies.
Like Vader. Allow me to drive with my own eyes.
And the mask comes
For
off.
once,
it's just
let
Elon.
me drive with my own eyes. Tell Elon, you were right about me. You were right. Why am I doing that?
That's Trevor.
No, tell Trevor, yeah.
You were right.
I was a piece of...
I'm glad you brought that up, Nick, because I did notice that on the last drive, but I didn't really say anything about it. But I was like, that is kind of nice. I'm glad it does a little...
That's a perfect example of why Teslas are the best vehicles, because they just get better over time.
Here.
It's like, I didn't think I needed that feature, right? Like, I would have never thought of that feature in a million
Sure, I
years.
never thought of that.
Yeah, okay, but it makes total sense now that I see it. Yeah, duh, the car can see when the light is green. The car can tell the light is green and traffic is moving. Just makes a little bing, and it's like the most polite ding ever. I love it. It could be like the...
Yeah, it's not an obnoxious...
Like, it could have made it that ding.
Move your stuff.
But instead it's just like a...
I would just replace the audio file with audio clip of Randy screaming "Go!" Like the very second it turns green, it's just Randy go.
I'm gonna make my own with the mic. I'm gonna record me just screaming like death metal roar. Go! And just I gotta go.
Just starts playing the Mad
If
Max.
the algorithm can start predicting when the light's going to turn green, they could do the little Mario Kart countdown sound.
Yes! I would love that. I would love that.
You know why they can predict that? Is because it can see the
A little bit.
adjacent lights.
Elon, I want that.
But I will say at my well, you guys have seen my intersection. You know how I got that one intersection right there, and then not even 100 feet later, there's that other one right there. The Tesla's UI of it is still uncertain about how it works. I understand why the two communicate with one another, which would cause unnecessary red lights sometimes because it's actually communicating with the main road right there. But Tesla doesn't understand that. So when I'm at a stop and I need to get over, for example, I'm making a left, so I need to get to the second intersection right there to make a left. I have to be in the right first to drive straight, otherwise it's going to make me take that back road to the left. So it'll go boom, and I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to drive yet. And so I'm sitting there, and nobody behind me is honking at me because they're doing the same thing. It's one of those things on that road. They understand what that lane is used for. But Tesla on paper, like if you were just looking on a map, it can't comprehend what that lane is supposed to be used for. So that's the exception, not the rule. But I like the idea that beep 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 boom go, but I can't go. It's like, wait, not yet. Not this intersection.
After an accident, after your car's totaled and the airbags go out, the little angel comes and picks you up and puts you back on the road.
On that very road,
plays that sound.
On that very road, last time Nick came out here, we caught an accident that happened because somebody tried to cut me off. And he saw me driving, and Nick was like, "This is so cool." He's vlogging with his phone. And he's like, "This is," and also we just see this car like hurry because it didn't want to wait for me to pass. But because he hurried and he was crossing the intersection, he didn't see the other car coming because he was more focused on me. Smack!
Oh, no.
And Nick is like, "This is so much." Oh! And he wants to say, "We need to go back. We have the footage. We need to go get that to the police." Nah, man, I got my own place I gotta be. That's his problem.
And that is why the world is wrong. This man, everyone, for the record, this man does not care about humanity. Randy does not care about humanity. He doesn't want to stop and help someone with video footage. And he doesn't. I work for an
insurance company.
He doesn't want to move a tree off of a fire road.
Point of impact. I don't even have to yell. I'll just talk into the mic. Point of impact tells the story. You don't need my footage for a T-bone. The point of impact tells you who's in the wrong. You don't need me to tell you that.
No.
Take it from the insurance guy.
He worked for an insurance company. That's how you know he doesn't care about humanity. Just kidding.
Well, this is true. I was for an insurance company, but I didn't sell insurance. I did claims, so I understand. Point of impact.
So you're basically Mr. Incredible.
I will say now, having my last trip to the Bay Area, the Model Y will definitely be the best-selling Tesla by far.
Why?
It is already the most common Tesla.
No.
I sell more Model Ys than any other. Okay. You know how you make more cars than another model?
Yeah.
You build more factories.
Yeah.
So guess what Fremont is building?
Yeah. What? Prove it.
Model Y. Guess what Texas is building?
Yeah. What? Prove it.
Model Y. Guess what Berlin is building?
Yeah. What? Prove it.
Model Y. Guess what Shanghai is building?
Yeah. What? Prove
Model
it.
2.
But if the Bay Area is like a reflection of like, it's close to Tesla HQ, so that's where a lot of Teslas are. But in time, that will become more mainstream, and that starts to become more of a common thing. Right now, at least, I saw more Model Ys than any other Tesla on our last trip there. They were like everywhere.
Yeah.
They were like as common as a
What? Prove it. You know
Honda
what?
Civic.
It's the same way in San Diego now. Every time I go to the mall at the Supercharging, it's a fleet of Model Ys, and I feel like I'm the unique
everywhere.
one. But I felt like, hey, look, I'm the unique one. But then it hit me last time I went there. It was actually
You're weak.
I drove by and I'm like, I'm the cheap one.
Not with that wrap, you're not.
Oh,
You are.
this is true. Not
Yeah,
with
the
that
wrap is what really sets you
but
apart.
still, I look at these big old, hefty, hunky looking things, and all I see is X's and Y's, and I go, I'm the cheap. And so I see this lone Model S sub 2015, so it had the little cone. I'm like, hey buddy, got room for the little
Guppy.
cheap end over here? I back it in, but he had that limited green one, so that was pretty cool. It's like I'm gonna park next to the two green cars.
That is
bless
cool.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so but
I'm allergic to that
you're
old
still
Model S
better than all
design.
the
I was just
Beamers,
thinking of it.
Thank you.
There's a certain amount of nostalgia with cool factor. Like if someone showed up with a
Or like,
OG
I
Roadster,
don't know.
they couldn't
Maybe
charge.
an
but-
electric version of the DeLorean.
This I really
my
want to see.
Goodness.
This would be beautiful.
Why, Nick, would you consider a DeLorean EV over Cybertruck? I saw that tweet, and I want to know.
Okay.
I mean, it's like without any of the practicality of the Cybertruck.
This is the conflict, the inner conflict deep within me. I love the Cybertruck.
It's also
It
pretty
is-
small.
So not
I'm gonna
only
pull it up.
not only will this electric DeLorean not fit me, probably worse than the Model 3. Not only will
their
it
shoe
not
is
be a
bigger than a
Tesla, so it
DeLorean.
won't have the supercharging network. Not only will it probably be $250,000. Not only will it have a shorter range than the Cybertruck. I might want it though. I mean, it's so pretty.
'Cause doors?
The doors and the nostalgia, and I'm pretty sure it comes with Michael J. Fox or what's his face. So I'm pretty sure that's part of the
Michael J. Fox is just in the car.
part of the delivery process. Michael
part of
J.
the
Fox
deal.
gets out with his double ties from Back to the Future 2.
I did not realize like DeLorean was even still remotely.
The brand
a
is
company.
still owned by someone.
To be
but
honest, TBH, same. I didn't know.
I mean, they made one car, and they stopped
But it
making
was
said
one
car.
heck
was-
of a car.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was ahead of its time.
That marketing? Yeah.
I think it would. An electric one is most likely going to be
Exactly.
fairly high priced, though. Some people disagree, but if they're going for low volume, they're probably going to spec it out, give it a huge battery because they're not going for tons and tons of these things. So I wouldn't expect it to be a reasonably priced car, knowing the fan base the DeLorean has and the profit margins of EVs. I feel pretty confident in saying it would probably be like a six-figure EV.
Yeah, I would
Close
say
to that, at least.
I was thinking 120 would be pretty realistic.
Yeah.
Maybe not the base model. Base model might be high 90s or something, but the one you want is never the base model. But the Cybertruck, though, like it's going to be a really hard decision, and it's really just going to come down to the price. Like I know the Cybertruck's going to be way cheaper, so it'll be the Cybertruck. But
Yeah.
like in some alternate world, if I had unlimited money, that would be the hardest decision ever, because like the reason why I love the Cybertruck so much, the reason why I had a visceral addiction to the Cybertruck was because of the DeLorean, and the DeLorean coming back with like the render looks so good. Like, oh my goodness, the EV, the LED light is like, oh yes please, yes please.
Who knows? Maybe this could be Elon's low-key supercharger access.
I will see your tweet, Nick.
You don't see my tweet? Well, I know you don't follow me on Twitter, so how would you see my tweet?
What the
That might
hell are
be
you
why.
talking about?
I saw your tweet, and I don't follow you on Twitter. I don't know why. Just kidding. I don't know.
That hurt. That hurt.
When did you tweet it about
Tuesday,
the
I think?
DeLorean?
No, Thursday.
Thursday.
Couple
And
days
it was
ago.
after I said yes.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it come back. That'd be wonderful.
Do you want? I want to see it come back for non-nostalgic reasons. I think practically, it serves a purpose. The same
Okay, well, we're
reason
going to move
Cybertruck
on to the next
serves
point
a
there, because
purpose.
Randy,
What
that is
practical-
just an empty closet. There's nothing in there.
Well, that's why I'm confused. What about it is practical to you?
Manufacturing.
That just...
Was the steel really easy? Because adjusted for inflation, the DeLorean, if it came out today, would have costed north of $50,000.
No, but I would
two-door.
but not just adjusted, but how manufacturing itself has improved since then too. I think this would be one of the easiest cars to make.
But they're going for low volume, at least the.
Okay, well,
existing
so
company.
in the context of that, and I think it's going to be expensive for that.
Mm-hmm.
If they just brought a regular one, low volume,
Two-door steel electric car.
no, but even if it was an electric,
Oh,
like,
well, that has no business.
no, but I know that's true. I know, no, but what I'm saying is that like just the ability to manufacture it is so little. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna have all the bells and whistles and curvatures and all these things
It
in
does,
there.
though.
I think
it has much more than the Cybertruck.
Probably a different kind of steel, though.
I feel like you're full bull, but you're also kind of right. I think you know what I want. I want exoskeleton everything is what I want.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I think the idea of let me take a step further. What I want is a very quick manufacturing process which involves no curvatures and maybe I don't know, a perfect cube.
Stop bringing up the cube. You're overhyping this episode. When the Nick and Randy Show episode 4 comes out,
Every chance.
Better for
I'm breaking the fourth wall, so-
aerodynamics. It should just be a right triangle.
Whoa, that's acute of you.
It would be right. It would
You're
be.
acting really obtuse.
Oh boy, now we can't get off the triangle joke. If it has two little doors on the side, it's just a literal door wedge.
Here's my plan on how
driving
to
around.
afford said
It's
DeLorean.
a child's block.
I'm gonna be up here, and I'm gonna get two people underneath me, and they're gonna get two people underneath them. And
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I think
Sounds
I
like
think
a
that's
scheme
illegal.
of sorts.
no, it's not a pyramid scheme. It's a multi-level. Don't worry about Chris. He has a Corvette.
That's totally different.
That's great.
I do agree though. I want more
Yes.
paintless vehicles that use steel, and that's something I did like about the DeLorean and its classic design. And I'm also a huge fan of any kind of door that goes up like that.
Can we take
like,
a moment?
That's also why I love the Aptera so much. Is they've got those little side doors that go upright like that, like the butterfly wing doors. And Model X doors are just too complicated. I don't mind if they're like spring loaded and they don't have to variably adjust. If they just like you click a button
And it
and
needs
they
to
go
make the DeLorean sound
like the DeLorean door. Yeah, bunch of dry ice fog coming out of it.
I want every single delivery of this new DeLorean to be like at Twin Pines Mall at 12:01 a.m. or 12:21 a.m. Backs out of the truck. Brown Industries with the theme song playing.
In the process of looking for your tweet, I just found out right now, because I haven't been on Twitter yet, that our OG talk show thing, Mike Larry King, has passed away this morning.
Oh,
I saw that this morning.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Larry.
I owe so much of my
That's too bad.
podcasting to him. Like, he's kind of the reason why podcasts are a thing. You know, the sit down talk conversation style.
Though having the mic visible and
That's why I have the
wanna
vocal
put my
balls in
mic
my
now
background.
more in frame.
They're actually
Really?
Yeah, tell me about it. That's closest Larry King I could do.
Hope he lived a
R.I.P.
long, happy life.
All right, yeah, 87. That's a
That's
healthy.
pretty old.
That's a healthy lifespan. R.I.P. sir.
Yeah.
This might take a moment just to acknowledge a legend.
I'd be happy if I lived that long.
I'd be surprised if I lived that
We're all
long.
gonna die at the end of 2021 when the aliens invade. I mean,
I guess everyone should be surprised if they live that long, unless you're 86. Maybe. And you're listening
if
to
you're
this.
86 and listening to this, send us something in the comments like, "Oh wow, what are you doing with your life?"
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I like the idea of
Yes.
steel, though. I prefer just the more durable exoskeleton design. So yes, for that reason, I want the DeLorean to come back. Please do it. Please do it,
I have
DMC.
to wonder why cars have paint to begin with. Like, I understand if like you have a corrosive material that you're trying to protect, but aluminum isn't really corrosive. Stainless steel isn't corrosive, and I understand with steel cars you do need to make sure they don't rust and stuff. But most cars these days are made out of aluminum. Like the shell is made out of aluminum. Okay, maybe like trucks or stuff are more steel based, but aluminum and plastic is pretty standard. Why the obsession with paint? Because the more I talk with Mike about it, the more I talk with you guys about it, the more I'm like, yeah, paint is such a cumbersome. The more my 2008 Ford Escape has cracks in the paint and is collecting dirt, and like they're just dark little like spider webs that I cannot get out.
All over it.
It's I hate paint.
Yep.
Paint is terrible. Why?
Why are we doing this?
Exactly.
It gets everywhere.
What? It's irritating. Why do we slap this like very easy to scratch, very delicate material on the outside of our metal structures that honestly doesn't look that bad when it's not on? You know, you can.
And then take it
people are rapping.
step further and put a sticker on it.
Randy.
And stupid.
If you're gonna wrap, I bet that makes the paint feel even more pointless.
I would have ordered a non-paint version if I could.
Yeah.
I like the color.
I would too.
I like the coarseness of it. I don't know. I'm a fan of I used to think I was a fan of industrial design, but I think I forget the word, but it's like that new modern that has like steel that like it's crossed with wood
like
and lights and greenery and brick. Yeah, like it's not that. It's like urban almost, but it's not urban. But whatever. I forget the name of it, but I like that style. I like modern, and I like that version of modern, and I like to see that on my utilities, like a vehicle. The idea of the idea. I imagine like, for example, my Model 3, like it's the Mandalorian, and it's
you
clear.
have Boba Fett.
And when Boba Fett paints, and he paints, and Boba Fett paints as he retouches
Best car.
the paint.
It
But,
is the best
I
car.
mean, at the end of the day, it's still just a little paint on there. But underneath, it is.
Best car. That's good.
I have the best.
I would sell
love it.
Baby Yoda
It's the
for a
best car.
Cybertruck. It is the best car.
So,
Would you stomp
I would not,
Baby Yoda?
I would not
for a
stomp.
Cybertruck?
I would.
I would punt that Baby Yoda so hard.
Now I just got the mental
The
image
entire
of
internet
Randy
now hates
punting
us.
Baby Yoda.
Congratulations.
I would punt him so hard.
I bet a lot of them would do it.
For a 5-minute sit in the prototype, let alone.
No, I want to own it.
I'll let you sit inside the prototype.
I mean,
for
seeing
5
how
minutes.
Baby Yoda's just a little
I
doll.
Oh, that would be the quickest
I might
5
do
minutes
that.
of my life.
Yeet!
That would be the quickest 5 minutes of my life if they were like, you only have 5 minutes to sit in the Cybertruck. I bet it would feel like 30 seconds.
Oh, don't worry. I'm good with being under 5 minutes.
I think I could total it in under 5 minutes.
I too can total something in 5 minutes.
All right.
I'm talking about
Yes.
my
Next
car.
What about your best car?
You can supercharge.
best? Yeah, I'm talking about supercharging. I can supercharge pretty quick.
Indeed.
You said. So okay, well, I want to finish my thought about the whole paint thing. Much
right.
like how you see Mando's armor, and it's just just pure steel. He doesn't paint his or anything like that. I like
No.
that armor, but the idea of like if you want to paint, then fine. I like the steel design. And when I was younger, and I was around maybe 13 or so, I'm thinking about my first car in a couple years. Foolish human thinking I was gonna get it at 16, but still I was thinking like, man, what I started thinking about like what I want my first car to be. I have always loved the color of like silver or steel. That was always my default, even if that was just a paint. I like that color because it feels universal, much like much like how Apple Watch stainless steel feels kind of universal towards everything. It's a universal thing that kind of fits in everything. Putting paint over it to protect, what are you protecting? Like it's steel. What are you protecting? It's not there's no exposed cabling, and even if it was, paint isn't gonna help it. So if we could just have the option to do away with paint and it saves you $1,000 or whatever they would charge you normally, by all means. Not even on the principle of saving you money, but just
and you get it faster.
Do
Maybe
away
you
with
get
it.
your
Then I feel
car,
less
like,
incentive to
3
try
or 4
to
days faster.
baby.
Right.
I wouldn't try to
Doesn't have to
baby
go
it.
through
I
the
would
paint
just
shop.
drive it maybe more aggressive. Well, not more aggressively, but I wouldn't try to be cautious of like, oh, this is expensive.
Oh yeah,
because it's
I
kind of.
went to open up the car
pointless.
door one day with Randy's car, and he was like, "Nick, make sure your camera's away from the sticker." Ah. And I'm like, "Dude, chill. You
The
just
what?
need to take a break."
Make sure the
You
what?
were worried about me scratching the car with the camera body
With what?
when we were. Okay, well,
don't
he doesn't remember. I'm still emotionally scarred from that event.
Yeah, he's
He
what
has
an
been
embellishment.
permanently
Man,
scarred.
don't do it. Like I don't remember.
Yeah, you were probably like, "Hey, make sure you don't scratch the car."
Maybe it came from inside.
It came from inside.
It was like Bilbo from Lord of the Rings, like grabbing forward.
Yet to
You
see
don't remember it. Nick
Lord of
remembers.
the Rings.
though.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No.
watch it.
No.
All right.
You'll
Moving on.
Watch it. Make time. Watch it.
I think
Watch
we
it.
all have the same answer on this, but if Tesla had to discontinue one of their models, what would it be and why the Model X?
I would probably pick the Model X.
Actually,
Yeah. The only thing I would ask for them to port over is the option to have seat coolers as well. That's the only thing I like about the Model X.
I think I'm gonna have to agree
Yeah.
with you guys.
Okay.
go ahead,
My final thought was just the gizmos and the gadgets of it doing all these, like you walk up and it's cool and all, but practicality, I think something that's just applicable for people who have to sit in warmer climate. Seat coolers is it's not an expensive thing. I know many cars, gross gas type that do it. It's not that expensive. It's actually more efficient to have a seat cooler than seat warmers on an electric side. It takes more energy to heat something than to cool
How does
something.
it work?
How
Does air come out of the seat?
So the one that I did in the Kia Optima, I sat in it and it had little little holes
Vents?
in it, and it's just it's blowing this nice little
Venting.
yeah. And I just said I was
imagine
like,
what a fart feels like, but it's cool and refreshing.
all my farts are cool.
Brings new meaning to fart mode. Like, fart mode, purified mode. Yeah, I think as they get closer to the 25K model, they're going to need to incentivize the Model 3 and Y with higher class interiors or higher class features, because my guess is that the 25K Tesla interior is going to be pretty similar to the Model 3. So if they're too similar, they're going to cannibalize sales unless they incentivize, like, ooh, the Model 3 has ventilated seats now, or it has the HEPA filter, it's got improved heated steering wheel or whatever. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things on the list of things we want to add, but we have to wait till we switch to 4680 cells and we can afford to make the product better. Because I don't know about you guys, someone was asking me on Twitter earlier, but do you think the switch to 4680 cells will drastically reduce the price of the 3 and Y, or are those prices going to be pretty much where they are now?
Ooh.
I think it'll initially stay the same, but over time they'll start decreasing the price. So I think we'll wake up one morning when the 2680 sells.
4680. We're going to put
40.
a chart behind the camera with
4680.
the numbers so he can remember.
Yeah. Thank you. Please do. I never remember these. So the new cells, whenever they have the new cells in production, we'll just wake up one morning, the website will be like, yeah, the Model 3 standard range goes 350 miles. And everyone's going to be like, it is still only $45,000.
That's the face.
Exactly like that. Exactly. And yeah. But then over time, as they get scale and they make their money back on the initial investment of creating these expensive cells, they'll start dropping the price, eventually beating out the competition because, right now Mach-E's desperately
trying to deliver
and
them.
all of the other EVs are like, Mach-E is desperately trying to figure out how to make them.
How do we get these out?
They're like,
wait a minute.
How do we make them?
Wait, where's the engine? All the engineers are like, where's the gas tank on this?
Well, I've heard they're holding the Mach-E
don't understand.
because of quality control issues, which is not something Tesla would do. They would
Oh.
be like, they're like, there's quality control. The customer, if that bothers them, can let the customer service representative know about that. But Ford is like, hold on. Take them back. We're going to look at these things real closely. But so when you say price drop, do you mean like substantially or do you like just a couple grand?
I think eventually the base Model 3 will be
high
$29,000.
Okay. That's amazing. That would be cool.
Like just under $30,000. And that's probably a lot of years in the future. After they have a bunch of scale, they already have the Model 2 out, all that fun stuff. They'll be like this really cheap Model 3 that will be like they'll be the base model iPhone 12 mini of the Tesla line. It's like it's still premium, but it's like not really.
What?
Randy just like, did you just attack my favorite phone? I feel personally attacked.
What do you think, Randy? Are they going to keep prices relatively the same or do they go substantially lower with 4680s?
I feel they would keep them the same.
No one asked about how you feel, Randy. He asked if you.
How do you feel?
I think. Thank you. I'm feeling kind of. I'm kind of sore right now, but a little sad. But how you doing? Thanks for asking.
I'm sore too.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Drew.
I'm just like, oh my goodness.
He asked how I feel. He asked how I feel. He cares. Sorry,
About
I can't talk.
4680s.
Fine then.
Sorry, Nick. I can't stay and talk. I'm busy on the other line talking to my bestie.
Man, that logo looks good.
Yo, you see that logo?
You're still mad about that. Okay.
I think I'm in
you see that
agreement with
logo?
Randy though, because he said the prices stay the same.
I think they would stay the same. I feel like it's a better business move to just keep it the same. You're not gonna notice. You know what I mean? Like, you'll notice the obvious benefits, but what I mean is in the cost factor. It's what's it to you? It's like those people who like how we talk about with smartphones. Like you going, these guys don't know one from the other. Like I just need it to work, type of a thing. Like I want it to be good. And trust me, they're all good. Mm-hmm. So you want this one. You want the 30, 35, 39,000. You want the 42. You want this range. No, you don't want that. It's fine. And
so tell me, what is Tesla's vision statement?
Accelerate the world to sustainable energy or something like that.
The world's transition to sustainable energy. And the only way you can accelerate that is by having a vehicle from every price point.
But this isn't about that.
Yeah, this isn't about that.
Because we're not saying like 25K won't happen. That'll still be a thing.
No, the 25K, there'll be a 30K, there'll be a 35K, there'll be a 45K.
I know. I'm saying you could have a long-range version of the Model 2 that's 30K.
Sure.
And a standard range that's 25, and then the next bracket would be Model 3. But I'd say there's a decent chance the Model 3 never goes below 35 new. Like, as good as it gets, they just decide that's the entry price for a car like that.
Especially as the years go
below
on.
35,
And yeah, I think that whole 30,000 thing we talked. Years go on, costs kind of go up. It doesn't make sense now. As when Model 3 was the new kid on the block, and they want to get market share, so to say, and hey, we have an off brand that you can get 30,000, and it just
Off-brand. It's like a nameless thing. Like there's no logo.
There's no logo on it.
It just has
nothing.
It's a Sharpie that says Tesla on the front.
Only when you run the VIN will it say make Tesla Model 3. But I think it doesn't. Back when it was for attention and newsworthy, and they were evidently trying to sell anyway. It was more indicative of them to try to promote an EV for $30,000 technically. Here you go. But now
incentives, tax free.
But now I think we're past that. I think as an industry in the EV universe, I think we're kind of past that right now. When eyes are set on making a cheaper, 25. Anyway, we don't care about the Model 3 being 30,000 anymore. We got something better for you, something that's more 2021 and beyond for you. We don't worry. Stop living in 2018. We're done with that. You know what I mean? Like, you can get a cheaper model of something, and it doesn't have to be the low-end Model 3 anymore. It lives in that price bracket now, and that's fine. That's a fine place to be at.
I would agree with you mostly, Randy, but I would also say I want to live in 2018 because that was the peak of human civilization. It's only downhill from here.
2018.
I felt 2019 was pretty good. I had a great year.
It's all downhill. Well, in 2018, Model 3 wasn't.
No, COVID-19 started.
I wasn't
Model
there
3
for
was
that.
a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
In 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, you could argue the Model S has dropped in price quite a bit.
Sure.
The 75D, when it was around in 2018, was like a $95,000 car, and now you can get a long range plus for $69,420. Can't forget that price. And
I love it.
That price has gone down a bit, though. On the other hand, Elon was on the record a lot saying that there would be a version of the Model S that's 50,000, and there technically was, but it was similar to the standard range 3. It was like a special order, software limited battery that you could unlock after the fact, and they stopped making it because apparently it was such a low in demand Model S because the range was, I think, like 160.
Oh.
It's probably the lowest
I get
range
goosebumps.
Tesla ever made. I don't know. There's still a few of them on the road, though.
Yeah, sure.
There's still a few people that have them, but I don't know. If they had sold those years ago and it's 2021 now, if I was Tesla, I'd just be like, just unlock the battery for them. Just who cares?
Yeah.
You're really going to charge $4,000 so that they can use the full capacity and their range is already probably like 100 miles. Like, just unlock it. Just be like, you win.
Yeah.
Here's the patience bonus. If you hold on to the car long enough, we'll just give up on the... Like, if they bought it 7 years ago and they still haven't unlocked the battery yet, I don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
Don't look at that as potential revenue. I
Yeah.
don't see the point. But I think what's exciting to think about is if you apply the range benefits they talked about at Battery Day to the Model 3 and Y, the price, even if that stays the same, for the range is going to be like groundbreaking. Like pretty close to what Nick said earlier. Mm-hmm. Like the standard range 3 could be 350 miles of charge, and the long range 3 could be like over 500 miles of charge for still like a $50,000 EV to go 500 miles. Like that's when the 4680s start messing up the competition. Because if you have that drastic of a range difference for the price, every Tesla competitor is just going to look stupid. They're going to be like, why would you buy that?
And you get
if you go 500 miles.
Yeah, and you get the added benefit of that. Like, what regular sedan gives you that type of range, too, for...
No, mine can't do 500.
No. At the peak of like really pushing it on my Volkswagen Jetta, the most I ever got was like 430 at its peak, and that's in best condition, driving not fat, and all that stuff. Like, and I never got that. It just gave me that projection. But when I actually did the actual tracking of the mileage, I probably got like a little over 400, like 405 or something like that. And I was like, okay.
And that's from the pump.
And that's from the pump,
not from the outlet.
Yeah. So imagine now you get
True.
the benefit. Not only are you messing up the competition within the own sector of electricity, but now you're also saying, now we're starting to cross over to, like, there's no point to even have a gas vehicle.
They run out of all advantages.
we're already at the 50,000 mark. There are cars out there that cost 50,000 that won't give you that type of range, that type of distance, and they're just going to keep going down. And as prices go down, not substantially, but they will drop, the range will keep getting better and better with improvements on the battery. We are now slowly starting to get that apex. Is it apex? That crossover where you can't have you can't have an argument, but you don't spec for spec. You still get more. You get, in every essence, more pros with and benefits with EV. Right. 500 is a beautiful number to reach for, and I can see, and we're talking we're talking now. We're like, imagine, my God, 5-10 years from now, 500 is gonna be like, remember when we had 500? We're gonna feel that way, like how when we used to drive horses. Well, we didn't do it, but
drive horses. We had a little steering wheel on the horse. He has a blinker.
With the blinker, yeah. The little horn.
I think that's what's going to make the Model 2 seem less appealing, even though the Model 2 range is probably going to be pretty close to what we get now. You know, Model 2 range will be like 260, 300, and nowadays we're like, whoa, that range sounds really great. But by the time the Model 2 comes out, there's going to be 400 and 500 mile range Model Ys and 3s, and we're going to be like, oh, only 250, only 300. But that car can get 500, so it'll feel like a low-range vehicle. Yeah. And the truth is, for most, that's going to be fine. I think that average consumer with an EV can get by with anything over 200 real-world range. And as long as Model 2 can hit that, it's going to be a bestseller. It'll definitely be a very compelling option for all the markets it serves. So how they make the 3 and Y more compelling is just... And what becomes of the S if... the 3 and Y can hit 500 mile range. What does the S get? 1,000? What are they doing at that point?
Maybe S gets the. Maybe they get like more interior luxury bumps, not so much just battery. I think the only way you can keep the S like its status symbol is you have to give it top everything inside that has to do with a premium branding with it, whereas everyday users and just convenience wise and just practicality, you have Y, 3, 2, you have all these other ones that will be coming around. When you want the S, when you want the Audi, you want the Lexus.
That's what S stands for, status.
Yeah, status. When you want the I'm pretty sure it stands for sexy.
Extreme status.
It stands for sexy.
No, I'm pretty sure it's sexy. But to keep it sexy, but with the S, I think you can't. It's not gonna. I don't think it's a good benefit if they hold back battery features and only save them for the S long term. Short term, I can see that happening as hey, the newest and the newest is gonna go over here. That makes sense. But like grand scale of things, the bread and butter is the lower ends of those sides. What makes the S competitive in its own sector is all the stuff that we can probably put inside. That's premium, that will only be exclusive, because it's not a minimal interior by any means. It's not it feels like you're in a cockpit of a plane sometimes,
Yeah.
You got all these things out there, and people like that, and you get better, sturdier leather armresting right here, and it slides open. You get all your little bells and whistles, and so much more. Like maybe Model S gives you free premium connectivity that you don't have to pay $10 a month for. I could see different incentives.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it doesn't already.
Right? I can see something like that. You get your lifetime supercharging for free. Here's your benefits that come with getting this luxury car. But with the range factor, it's maybe it'll be a little bit faster or longer than it'll definitely be fast. Like, it will have it pick up quicker speed, but it's there. It will be on par with all the other models as well. But Model S will keep its interior stuff luxurious, and that's what keeps it relevant in the lineup. If they were to do that,
We might be seeing a refresh soon.
I know.
Very soon.
This episode
I
might
really
be
hope
very
so.
dated.
Could you imagine if after? Yeah, could you imagine how dated it's going to be?
I'm
It
refreshing
could.
the site right now.
It could be very dated, but I have a feeling that they might want to save it for the earnings call.
I agree.
Do you guys have any predictions on the earnings call?
When's that? End of the
27th,
month?
I think.
27th. Okay, so we got a couple more days. Predictions on the earnings call. Tesla did better than everyone expected. I don't know what people are expecting, but I know that they did better.
I'll say profitable for sure. And
Okay.
it sounds crazy, but I would love it. They probably won't do this, but I would love it if they gave guidance of 1 million cars in 2021. They have the output capacity. It's technically possible, but obviously factories never reach their total capacity, so there has to be a bit of wiggle room. But there's a lot of people saying that it's possible, and there's a lot of people research groups and analysts that are saying, like, with the factories that are active now and how they're ramping with the Gigapress, and when Giga Berlin comes online, that's only going to help. Shanghai's ramping like crazy. It's theoretically possible, I don't know if I'll say likely, that they could deliver 1 million vehicles in 2021. So if they put guidance of that forward, I would be pretty impressed. I'd be like, dang, Tesla's got balls. Because it's probably way easier and safer as a publicly traded company to just say, we expect to comfortably exceed 800,000 deliveries. And then they deliver like 900,000. It'd be like, cool, they exceeded guidance. But if they set guidance bar that high, that would say a lot about how they think they're going to do, and I bet that would make the stock go. It'd be interesting. So, I don't know. What do you think they would provide with guidance?
Ooh.
Yeah, either of you.
Open floor question. I'm going to let Randy take this because I need to think about this. I like the idea of 1 million, but I don't know.
It's a nice round number.
It's a clean number.
Okay, just imagine the headlines, though. Like, everyone's going to say for a whole year, Tesla's never going to sell 1 million units. And it's going to start off, everyone's just like, oh, yeah, it's not gonna happen. And then as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, they're going to be like, it might happen. They're getting a little close.
Right. Well, it's interesting to think,
okay,
what would have Tesla delivered in 2020 if it weren't for the pandemic? You know, they achieved guidance
True.
last year with the factory shutdowns for like almost 2 months. Almost
True.
2 months worth of shutdowns, and they hit 500,000. So if they were running at full capacity the entire year, what would that number be? Could it be 550?
You make a good point.
So if they're aiming to, exponentially grow with vehicle deliveries, now they probably won't have shutdowns in 2021. We don't know, but probably not. If that's the case, then Shanghai's bigger than last year. Fremont's bigger than last year. Berlin's coming online. Texas probably going to come online this year too, maybe at the very end. But that'll make up for like 100 cars. They'll make like 100 Model Ys in December.
Every Y counts. Why though?
Why?
But why does it count?
Do you think because they didn't make their goal last year, they were 490 whatever thousand? Maybe that'll get cleared up on this earnings call. But do you think that's going to change them and make them be a little bit more conservative with their projections and say 900,000 units?
Maybe. I mean, on one hand, they could argue we don't expect to see shutdowns this year, so they could argue, we're going to push it a little further. But yeah, they could. It's probably not. Even if you think you can deliver 1 million, it's probably not safe to say you will, because if something does go wrong and you don't hit guidance, that doesn't look great for the company. So it's probably safer to underestimate, which is what they did last year. They said, we expect to comfortably exceed 500,000. They didn't say, like, we might hit 600,000 if everything goes right. So, yeah. I mean, they do say the deliveries fluctuate by a certain percentage, which the percentage they said could comfortably give them 500K. So I think on the Q4 call they might actually confirm. Yeah, it was actually over 500,000, but we'll see. But either way, I think that would be a really like, it would say a lot about the production ramps they're forecasting if they put a high number like that.
I get it. I kind of feel like maybe the smartest thing is to take a more conservative approach to it, just to CYA and make sure you're good in all fronts, that you don't. This time last year, like I'm very literally this time last year, Tesla did a very smart. They made a series of smart choices that made them okay during the rest of the year when everything started going into lockdown.
Right.
It is maybe business smart to hedge your bet on something like that and just now play conservative numbers all the way through, because we still are technically in an unknown state about how things are going to play out. We can't. I don't feel like it's a safe projection anymore to make promises that we don't really know, especially with the new administration now and leading the country and stuff like that. Like we don't know what the first 100 days for that matter. Like we have everything is too new, and it's. If it was my decision, I would be more conservative on the numbers. And if we really blow it out of the park, then next time around I'd be like, okay, so here's given this new state of the new year, here's what's looking like. This is where maybe I'd be a little bit more Elon about it and say give some wider bigger numbers and stuff like that. But I feel like this time around, just to play it safe, I would do it. But I also see why that's not going to happen. That makes sense why they wouldn't do it, because it's Tesla. This is now one of the biggest biggest automaker and one of the biggest companies, and everyone's watching everything that they do, every step, so at that point you already have the spot. Conservatives or not, people are gonna watch you and they're gonna take every word that you say. So I can same breath see people coming out swinging like, yeah, well, guess what? You think last year was crazy? Get this. You thought, imagine what we can do when we're at 100%. Bet. And then they come out and then that's gonna do great, like it's hard. It's hard to see. So me being cautious, I play conservative numbers, but me being Tesla, I'd be like, you think that was that? Now for my next trick, and then come on out and then come out swinging again. They're being smart. I'm impressed overall of how everything just kind of still worked with all these factories about to come online and just the fact that in the worst state of the world that we could be in, they did not only did they not experience any hurt, they blew up bigger than ever before. It's crazy. It's amazing to witness as just a bystander. So I don't know what they'll do, but I trust that they'll be just fine all the same.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that at all. Yeah. It's no longer will Tesla make it. It's how much will Tesla make.
Yeah, nobody's saying that anymore. No, not. Yeah, how much? The question we're just asking is how much.
And how much will they make? Not will they make it.
Yeah.
Big league.
And when our favorite game is, when's this one coming out? When's this going online? When is this happening? It's no longer can they make it? Will it happen? It's when, not will or can or if. It's when. That's a cool problem.
I feel like what Tesla's done is rare and difficult, and what they've done financially has been really challenging. And people just, I think, take that for granted and assume that's going to be all EVs. They're like, oh, well, Tesla did it, so this company will probably do it. And that's why there's so much bizarre correlation between other EV stocks and Tesla stock, is because people are like, well, Tesla did it, so why can't another company do it? I'm just investing all the EV stock. But honestly, I think Tesla made their rise to success look easy. It was just like, oh, you got to start making electric cars soon, but they're all going to blow up and they're all going to be profitable and they're all going to succeed. It's like, I think that there's a bit more uniqueness to it that is going to be difficult to replicate, that people don't grasp that people think is going to be like, oh, any EV startup is going to be another Tesla. They're going to grow and they're going to be profitable and successful just like Tesla is. But I think there might be a lot more tricks to turning a profit in that business than we realize, and that'll make people appreciate
first to
Tesla
the market
more.
on something, that might be the case, but that's not the case with other EVs. That's not the case with other cryptocurrencies. That's not the case with other late to the game phone manufacturers. That's not the case to. I mean, there's an endless list of things that you can be like, oh well, they made it look. It's. I mean, I make the argument of let's get hyper specific here, like YouTube. I remember you talking about something, Drew, about how Talos of Tech, for example, grew as it did. That wouldn't happen again now. That was a time. Part of it's also timing.
No, it's not happening now.
Exactly.
It's not. it's
Now
not.
it's dying off.
You need to get back. You need to get into an attic. So, but my point is that in a certain specific tailored whatever, timing is everything. How that part in history, big or small, matters. So context in that matters, and trying to straight up like copy a success is not the recipe for success. It just doesn't work that way. I don't know anybody who's copied something and turned out fine in any sense. I can see people, for a cruder word, ripping off, stealing. Great artists steal, and then they make. So in that sense, the context of that is that you make it your own. That's different. But there's just one for one copy. I mean, we saw what happened with somebody who's like, oh, we're gonna. It's not called Tesla. It's called Nikola. You know what I mean? Like, it's cheap in every sense of it. It doesn't work, and anybody who tries to copy is you're already behind. That if you're copying, then you're already behind. So, no, I agree that it looked like it was easy because they were the first and they're paving it. But Elon's also, there's so many YouTube videos of him on records like, don't come work for Tesla if you're looking for a 40-hour week thing. Like, it's not an easy job. Nothing about this is easy. And his stress and poor man just looks like he's constantly about to cry because he was so stressed. And big risk, big reward. But there was a lot of risk.
Now he's the richest man on planet Earth, soon to be Mars.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, back to
Richest
work.
man in the galaxy.
Imagine what will happen when the richest man on Earth leaves and becomes the only person on Mars.
Then Bezos becomes the richest man on Earth again.
That's sad.
He's like, dang it.
But Bezos is going to join Musk soon anyway, so.
Yeah. That's interesting to think about where that company's going long term. This is EV. We can talk about if Tesla makes a plane, that's an electric vehicle.
That's true.
So
that is so true.
We can dive into
Although, the Talos of Planes channel will be very sad.
Have you not learned your lesson, Nick? We don't need any more channels.
What? I've only been spending the past month and a half making intros and outros for every channel ever.
All the channels. Every channel available.
I know.
Well, I am excited for the earnings call. I think it's going to be an interesting one. And to give you some perspective, the last earnings call in January was when they announced that the Model Y deliveries were starting in March.
Yep.
So a lot has changed in 1 year.
That's crazy.
Considering how plentiful Model Ys are. My hope with this earnings call, it's probably less likely than that. There was a lot of evidence that the Model Y was ahead of schedule. But with all of the Model S parts shifting around Fremont, and they've got the cloths over them, and there's this hype building of this S and X refresh. They're telling all the showrooms to sell off inventory. They're telling everybody, get ready, sell off all the old stuff. My hope is that they announce the Plaid Model S is ahead of schedule at this earnings
That'd be
call.
cool.
And they're just
That'd be cool.
It's coming this summer because we're ramping the 4680s. Did you guys see those videos of the 4680 they posted?
I haven't. Not
They're
the
like-
4680.
Yeah.
They're higher.
Them making them.
Yeah, they had more B-roll basically of all the B for battery
I
rolling.
know. Excuse me, Tesla. I will make your B-roll for free. Just let me into your factory. Thank you.
I drove by the factory too.
I hope earnings
I
call.
was
Ooh.
overly
We had a
excited.
big delay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I had a little glitch there. basically we were driving through the Bay Area, and I noticed the building. It looked similar from the pictures I showed in the Battery Day cutaway shots, and I was like, "Oh, I think that's the Cato Road facility. I think that's where they're making the 4680s." My wife was like, "Cato Road? What are you talking about?"
That's funny.
I'm like, are you sure that's it? I think that was just a showroom. And then she opened up maps on her phone, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it says Cato Road right there." I'm like, "That's it. That's where they're making them. They're just right there." That's cool to think.
Yeah.
I know where that is. So
Well, I know when we're doing our next Mission Impossible. Cato
Yeah.
Road.
Cato Road. Mission Impossible, Cato Road.
and
After Tom Cruise is done in space, I think we should sign him on a deal for one of our Taylor Swift
yes,
movies.
please. And Electric even got that leaked image of the honeycomb structural battery pack. Did you guys see that picture?
I didn't see that.
I'm like, hey,
On
if they,
Twitter?
I think so. Electric probably tweeted it out, but yeah, I was like, hey, if they've got those being prototyped now to the point that someone who is willing to leak pictures is now sending pictures, I would say that means they're probably getting closer to that 4680 design implementation with the Model Y and stuff. So plaid, that's gonna be amazing.
I think
Maybe they want to beat Lucid to the market.
hey, that'd be cool. I think
They don't want another company to have best range.
Yeah, it's
available.
true. It's a pride thing at that point.
Yeah, I understand. Just release one. Just
Yeah.
a single plaid Model S. The one they had at the Nürburgring. They just sell that one to some guy, Marquez or something. Like, here.
That'd be cool.
It's out. There. It's out. Best range.
We won.
Every other plaid Model S reservation holder, you just say, prepare for delivery. Like, get ready. We're going to do some paperwork. But you keep them there for
A few
like
months of paperwork.
Yeah, you can keep them there for like 6 months in the prepare for delivery section.
Do you think during their earnings call or maybe shortly after, I would like to see a final design of Cybertruck. I want that.
Oh my
Yes.
God, I want that now.
Actually, yes.
I want that.
I want that
I want
yesterday.
that.
Yesterday, actually.
I want that on the 27th.
He said they
I
would
want it
do
on
one in December,
today.
but that's Elon.
I know. Elon.
You fool.
He is an unreliable leaker. We need to not listen to anything he says.
His
True.
track
Do you think
record
at this
is terrible.
stage, maybe the production version Cybertruck is not finalized yet? Do you think that's possible, or at this point, do you think they kind of have to agree on something?
I think they have to agree on something at this point to meet deadlines, but
January?
I think deadlines are going to get pushed anyway. So, but
Probably.
I think it's not finalized, but it's getting close. A lot like how Apple, we're gonna correlate back to Apple again. How Apple like mid-May or so has like 2 or 3 like pretty solid prototypes that they like run through some production lines.
Right.
I wonder if Tesla's kind of in that same state where they have a fairly good idea of what they want to do. They might have a few different variants and they want to prototype test it. Because I think we've seen a couple Cybertrucks go down a line in Fremont, getting stuff built, just testing out,
I think it was
line
just
work and
one.
stuff. Was it just
I don't
one?
remember.
Anyway,
I can't
maybe
remember.
it was anyway.
The only one that exists.
Yeah, the only one that exists, the one that Randy saw. Don't remind me.
and I touched.
You touched it. I mean, I did lick the Tesla semi, so,
He licked the
There's that.
battery.
And that's
like
how
the
COVID starts.
gigawatts.
That's how it starts. The fever. The rage.
Okay, Dickerson.
No, that's Jeremy Irons. Oh, well.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like they're hiring a bunch of people to work on the semi line in Giga Nevada.
Yeah,
So I would also
that's
love some
exciting.
updates in that department because I want to see one driving, and the semi is awesome. I'm hoping they can actually deliver a couple this year.
I hope so too. But then it will take away the exclusivity of me being one of the very few people to actually see one in person.
Well, you can be like,
I'll
I
no
saw.
longer have
I've
that to
seen them
wave over
first.
Randy's face.
You can say I was like first to see the semi. You'll have that.
Okay, that's fair. And
A
Randy
bit of
will
an
always
advantage.
be the first to see the Cybertruck out of the three of
Yeah.
us. So
Exactly. We can't change the past. That's happened.
actually,
So-
we can. That's why the
Oh.
DeLorean's coming. Got the
Oh, right.
electric DeLorean.
Yeah. Oh, the video of Randy in the Cybertruck just starts fading.
Starts fading away. No, Randy's still there.
I
but
never
the
bought.
Cybertruck
I
slowly
never bought
turns
a
into,
Model
like, something
3.
else.
I never made a
His car in the driveway just
Never nothing.
Replaced with like a Jetta.
Yeah, oh.
oh no.
My favorite color becomes like orange or something.
Ooh. And you fell in love with your mother? Wait, what?
You didn't watch the movie I watched. That's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. Did you guys know, speaking of Cybertruck competition, record-breaking website Alibaba has an electric pickup truck for $4,000.
All right, what's the punchline?
Is this like a wish thing?
12-inch wheels.
Oh my gosh, really?
It's
Oh,
1,100 pounds,
Oh no.
and the range is 75 miles.
Oh, no.
That's not the
Oh.
kicker. I haven't told you
Oh.
the kicker.
Oh no.
It has a maximum speed of 25 miles an hour.
Oh no.
So it's honestly a golf cart with a bed,
Exactly. What
to
is
be
this?
completely fair. But it's funny because I was reading the article about it this morning, and I was looking at the pictures. It's still like a full size. You could sit in it, like 2 people could sit in it, technically speaking. It is very small and
Just like you can
would probably
seat
do
7 in a
well.
Y
So I
type
might
of
fit
thing.
in it, but nobody
Yeah,
else.
if it was just the 3rd row of a Y, but no other seats, it would be like that. Just
Oh,
those
wow.
2 back seats. So it's very small, but that kind of vehicle, I would genuinely make use of. Not joking.
Just around your property or around town?
To go to like Home Depot and back, or to like haul stuff around, I wouldn't need to go much over 25 miles an hour. I don't need to go on the highway to get there. So
So
There
what
goes
I'm
the
hearing, Drew,
Ericksons again, being up to their shenanigans. Showing up at Home Depot.
get the no mobile honking sound.
yes,
Basically,
It's
what
so
you're
little.
telling me, Drew, is you need to drop $4,000 on a little experiment and then make the world's most clickbaity thumbnail. Put Wish in the and be like, I bought a Cybertruck off Wish, and this is what I got.
I wouldn't say Cybertruck. I might be like, I bought the world's cheapest electric truck. That might get some views. That video would pay for the truck. Maybe.
Exactly, and then
But-
you'd have your Home Depot run
and then
mobile.
you
Yeah.
would be hated on the internet forever as a clickbaity, lying son of a, you know.
Not if I said cheapest pickup. That would be accurate.
Yeah, but it's also misleading. It's a golf cart.
Very misleading. It's like, have you guys gotten the recommendation for that guy who made the brightest room or the darkest room?
No.
Oh,
No!
That's like
What are
YouTube
you
keeps
watching,
spitting them at me.
Nick?
I know, and I'm like, this
The
is so
darkest
stupid.
room.
Exactly.
You go
So-
in there and they're like, you will never experience death because you're already dead. You can't experience it. Wow, that was dark.
You go in there and it just feels like you're constantly falling and yet in place at the same time.
It's the room that Woody fell in Toy Story 2.
Oh no. Goodbye, Woody.
You're
That's it.
broken.
No,
Oh,
if
that's
I
right.
only had to drive a vehicle to haul stuff around and pick stuff up in town and I don't go on the freeway, I could make use of something like that.
But the moment you put
Fair.
anything over 20 pounds in the bed, there goes your battery.
Well,
Well, you
I
can
mean,
charge
you're
it up
not
at
going-
Home Depot.
if you can't go over 25 miles an hour, you're not going to be that far from wherever you... So if they cut that in half to 30 miles, I mean, 30 miles at 25 miles an hour, that's a long drive.
That's
just
a
almost an hour.
long drive. That's at least
Barely
an
an
hour.
Yeah, so...
Math?
I don't know. It's funny. It's funny that something like that exists to me. And
That's
it's on
a good-
Alibaba, of all places.
Of all
Oh my
places.
goodness.
That's great.
If only it was on Wish, then the thumbnail would be perfect.
I think they could ship it in a box.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and it has a frunk. It
The
still has a
UPS
frunk.
man is like, what did you order? This thing's huge. And like, that's just a
The
car.
little... I'll send you a link to it. The little walls of the bed can fold down and you can make it a flat bed.
All right.
It's like It's the cutest little pickup I've ever seen.
Cute.
Cute
Okay,
is the
that's
adjective
the
that
word
he
we're going with.
uses.
It's
Wow.
called technically street legal.
Oh, wow. Oh, this isn't even anything of what I was imagining. It's like boxy. Oh, wow. It looks like an actual truck. I mean, when you have the scale of a human, it looks kind of weird.
Well,
but,
it's technically street legal.
I mean, technically, wow.
There's a pride thing you have to put up with, because if I bought this truck, the first thing I would say in the video is, well, they say guys with big trucks are compensating with something, so this is my truck.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just here in my car with my new goat truck. No,
Compensating
I
for
love-
absolutely nothing.
I absolutely love this little graphic that the website put together where they have
Yeah.
they
Cool
call them
taillights.
cool taillights and personality hubcaps.
Uh-huh.
Is
that a hubcap?
mediocrity.
what do you think the
I'm pretty sure
insurance
that's just the
is for
wheel.
this thing?
I think they call
Probably
it a
$4,000 a
warranty.
year.
No, I'm talking about auto insurance.
If you scratch
Oh, I
the
thought you meant
paint,
health insurance.
it's
'cause
totaled.
Your health insurance company would be like, "Yeah, if you're driving that, you're gonna die."
Yeah, auto insurance. I'm thinking like how oh hey, look, Drew texted me on my watch too. Disconnect. I'm thinking
That's the way
like
it's done.
if it's technically street legal, that means it technically needs to be insured.
Not highway legal.
Oh,
They have a four. They have a 4-seat
I don't think you
version?
can
Oh
be-
my gosh.
You can't be highway legal if you can't go over 25 miles an hour. That becomes a hazard.
watch.
But if you're driving around town, between houses and stuff,
That's so funny.
most of what I've needed to pick up for could be done with that truck. That's the funny thing.
so
To
No,
get,
my-
I just wanted
I can't be
to
taken
share it with
seriously
you guys.
at IKEA with this.
IKEA's too far. I could not drive to IKEA with that thing. But I wanted to share it so that everybody listening and you guys could understand what my requirements are out of an EV. That's pretty close.
Guys, I'm sending you a screenshot
That's
right
pretty
now
dang close.
of the ad that I got on the link that you sent me. Look at the ad that I got. What in the world am I looking at?
I don't know, but it's probably based on your history. So
Whoa,
No.
Randy.
Nope.
they track that data, Randy.
That is quite
That's
the ad.
user targeted.
First of all, DuckDuckGo, so no.
Yes. Duck, duck, go. They
Secondly,
still track you.
that
They still,
what?
they still track you.
Is the
All right.
I think we should end this
That's
before it devolves anymore.
That's the equivalent of our podcast in truck form.
Love it.
It's like trying to be serious.
Yeah. It's trying to be taken seriously, but it's like, oh,
Oh, so
you
cute.
can't. All right.
All right, guys.
See you next week with more earnings numbers. Hopefully,
Yes.
Cybertruck updates. Bye,
Exciting
guys.
stuff.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mike.